What's up, y'all? It's your boy KO. It's been a while, but right now I'm going to be going over last week. So, last week on Sunday, I bought a new 50K funded challenge, right? So, right now it's evaluation phase. And this is my first time actually understanding all the concepts, understanding all the topics and everything of my strategy and, ICT strategy, I should say. But basically, right here on the screen right now is my journal and all the trades that I took, my emotions, what I rate myself, rate the trade that I took, everything that I can improve on, how many trades, win rate, P&L, everything like that. So I'm going to go through each and every single one and then just talk about it real quick. And then we'll get to the charts after. Okay, so to start off the week, on the 26th, it was a holiday, so the market was open, but there was not a lot of volume, so might as well not even trade it, right? You know what I mean? So moving on after that, on the 27th, I took only one trade, which was on US 30, and on the charts, it showed a bearish order block and a bearish fair value gap fill. I got in around 11, and this is Pacific Standard Time, right? And the market closes at 1. So there wasn't going to be a lot of volume, there wasn't going to be a lot of movement, but I really liked the trade entry, and it was a 5 out of 5 quality trade, and I just broke even right there because it hit TP1, but there was not a lot of volume. Moving on to Wednesday on the 28th. On the 28th, I woke up tired. I was slumped. I just didn't want to get out of bed for some reason, and I missed my trades that happened at 6 o'clock. There was false breaks that happened, and I just got in for FOMO, revenge, and didn't really think too much of it. I mean, I thought about it a lot afterwards because I lost 260, 215 right after. I'm like, dude, this sucks. I'm glad I didn't, keep revenge trading and everything like that. So I always try to limit myself to at least 2 contracts. But, as you can see later on, I fucking traded 4. But after the 28th, on the 29th was one of the better days. So I started off on US 30 at a break-even one. As you can see, I got greedy, just entered in at a false break, and it broke even. Honestly, it's really hard to talk about trading and not seeing the charts, but this is just my journal. I'm just going over it. You feel me? But after that trade, I went on to NAS, in which there was both a fair value gap fill and a false break. As you can see right here, there was a clean false break and a bullish fair value gap fill. I stopped the trade out at TP1, but should have left it at break even. And right here was my little note. I was actually pretty anxious, and I wanted to make up all the losses that I took on the previous day, on the 28th, which was about, almost $500. And right there at that trade, when I stopped it out, it broke even for the entire week. So not the best, kind of mindset to have, but it's there and it happened. So moving on Friday the 30th, which is the most terrible day of that week, it was just chop city, bro. It was just the choppiest session ever. It wasn't going up, it wasn't going down, it was just consolidating. And my dumbass chose to trade it. And so we're going to go over the dumbass trades that I took. On US 30, I got in at a bearish, our bias was bearish. I got in at a break, or at an hour gap. And I looked at it, there is no hour gap, bro. There was nothing there. Went in again for US 30 at a false break. And I targeted these equal highs, but the equal highs were 1 hours. There weren't no swing highs, no swing lows. It was just an hour gap, or it was just a false break to equal highs that happened during London and Asian sessions. So jack shit, you feel me? After that, US 30, I jumped in on nothing, and just FOMO. If it broke out, it broke out. I traded a breakout, didn't follow strat, terrible. And then I went on to NAS because I was like, 3 L trades of US 30. Let's try NAS, you feel me? And so we went on to NAS, and it actually came out to be a dub, but it was a lucky ass dub because I looked at it and I was looking at the 15-minute time frame because I did take it on the 15-minute time frame, and there was nothing there. I got in on a gap on the 15-minute time frame. Not really the best strategy, not really the best decision making there, but Friday was just chopped entirely. And so this is my weekly analysis. Total of 9 trades. Win rate was 44%. Not the best. P&L was 366. Still not the best. Like I don't really give a fuck if I make money or not. Well, I mean it's the end goal, but like I want to be efficient and everything to be uniform. So I want to be how do you say, the best that I could possibly be while making money or losing money. As long as I'm following my process, my strats, and everything like that, then I should be okay. But this entire week did not follow the strategy to the T. Probably 60% I followed it. As you see, the win rate is 44%, so gotta adjust. Biggest mistakes of the week: trading with emotions, not trusting system, and going against rules. Also, not getting enough sleep. That's one of the things that I have to look at too, and looking at the bigger picture. I have to look at the bigger picture because I'm all zoomed in to the current like 10 candles, but if I zoom out, there's gonna be a lot more candles, and understand the actual bias in the movement and where price is actually gonna go to. My best trade and why, obviously on the 27th on US30, just because there were so many confirmations, everything aligned, and it was just beautiful. 5 out of 5. What I could have done better, look at the levels, exactly what I just said, zoom in, zoom out. Also to be emotionless and just trust in my system and just grow my confidence just like that, And so my plan for next week is trust the process and follow my strat step by step, and I'm trying to lose emotions when I go into trading. So that's basically what I'm trying to do. And as you can see on my pre-trade checklist right here, and then my adjustments from last week, I haven't really fixed this one. I didn't fix this one at all because the week prior to this I was paper trading, and yeah, this was when I first started. But anyways, we're gonna get into the best trades of the week. I'm gonna jump on the charts and show exactly what the market presented itself or presented us with that were aligned with my strategy and were the best trades that I could have took to pass my funded account. But let's get into it. Alright, so I actually just took the time to mark out all the best trades that the market provided throughout the week for US30 and NAS 100. So basically we'll take a look. So on the chart, I'll put everything up. Right here on Tuesday the 27th, the market provided 2 different entry points that align with my strategy. So right here, the first trade is the bearish 1 hour gap. As we can see right here, it consolidated, failed to displace higher. I entered into the 50% level of the fair value gap, and once this did that, I believed, I guess this isn't, that wouldn't be the best trade, to be honest with you. I mean, if you were just trying to short it real quick, then aim for the previous session low or previous Asian session low. Then the second one will actually be better because it's false break and Asian session low, so there's tons of liquidity. And yeah, so I would say the second one is the best trade. Yeah, this one is the best trade that the market presented on the 27th on US30. Moving on Wednesday the 28th, the market presented this bearish trade. So as we can see, it's a false break at the previous day high and Asian session high, along with a break of this order block, this bearish order block. So this one would have gave a 50 to 100, so a ratio of 2, R&R of 2. And yeah, that was the 28th on US30. Moving on to Thursday the 29th. Right here, there's huge bearish momentum. The market provided a 1 hour gap targeting the previous day low and Asian session low. This is at 6 o'clock, so right when market opened. If you got in right here at this little gap fill target for RNR2, we got that. And then there's nothing on Friday. Nothing on Friday. It was just chop session, right? So yeah. Moving on to NAS. NAS gave two different, or actually three different options. So on Wednesday the 28th, this would have been the best trade. As you can see, the false break, just like US 30, did a false break on a long-term swing high, which was the most ideal trade. That would have been cool. So it's a RNR2. On the 25th, on the 28th, Wednesday 28th, the market provided two different options of entering. Right here on market open, you could have targeted the hour gap for the move on the downside. So this almost hit TP, or yeah, it almost hit the stop loss, but it was like 10 points away. It's an RNR of 2. And then, I would have took another trade, to be honest, within my strategy to target Asia session low, but with the amount of, bearish momentum, it targeted the stop loss or the previous day low, and this fair value gap fill. So if you got in at that fill, that would have been like the 5 out of 5 best trade that you could have took on NAS on the 29th. Nothing on Friday, again, chop session. And yeah, these best trade ideas, right, that the market presented to itself or presented to us are just things that align with my strategy and what I look for when trading. So I trade ICT. I'm looking for fair value gap fills and runs on liquidity, false breaks, everything like that. So we're looking for external and internal liquidity and trading key time zones or key times. So like New York session open. And then looking towards this coming week for Monday, I do want to see market test new highs, right? Just because we have been in a bullish momentum. As you can see, the last week prior to the one that we were just talking about, or the last 2 weeks, it's been bullish. We had a change of character right here that happened right here on the 12th, and so we're entirely bullish. We have a couple of retracements, as you can see right there. We can retrace lower, but I do ultimately see us aiming for these long-term highs. This is NAS 100. On US 30, we can see the same exact thing, where it's actually more prevalent right here. We have a change of character right there. Change of character right here. So we can retrace, grab more liquidity if we need to, but as you can see on US 30, we did grab a ton of liquidity. So I do see us pushing higher and targeting this long-term high, and then after that going in for retracements throughout the week. But yeah, overall I am bullish, and yeah, I'm gonna try my best for this week and pass my funded account or my evaluation phase. But last week I was ultimately trading like scared, and so I was stopping my trades way too early. I wasn't setting the correct R&R. I was leaving too little on the table, or just leaving way too much on the table where the stop loss just took out. So I was risking 250. And as you can see on my journal, it's a lot of the L's are within 250, right? 250, 260. The W's are 600, 480. So it kind of balances it out. But ultimately, I think if I want to get better, if I want to, do this as a long term and quit my job sooner, I'm going to increase my risk to reward ratio and move from 250 to 500. And so not aiming for 500, but aiming for 1,000. So that's the ultimate goal right now. So on US30, I'm going to be increasing my contracts from 2 to, or from 1 to 2. And for Nas, I think I'm going to just, leave it at just 1 contract, because Nas, if I lose that much hella quick, I'm going to be done for. So on Nas, I'm going to just keep it at 1 contract. US30, I'm going to do 2. So yeah, that is it for this video, guys. This marks my first video, and the journal of my journey to get funded. And yeah, stay blessed. Let's do good this week. Later.